Morning, everyone. My name is Luan Oliveira. I'm a precision ag extension specialist, and today I'm here to talk a little bit about drones, AI, and some of the work we've been doing with Pecans back there in Tifton, Georgia. Okay, is this better? Oh, now we're talking. Can we take some of this slide down, Lenny, please? Okay, so I already told you my name. You see some videos there. I'm just gonna start this presentation and talk about AI real quick, okay? What's AI for you and what's AI for us? That's basically a computer mimicking human intelligence. We train the computer to do what we want the computer to do for us. That's it. That's AI right there. It's a set of hard drives somewhere. We don't know where it is. So when you ask a question to ChatGPT, ChatGPT is going to go to that database and respond you from what it learned before. Okay? Yeah, that's a data center right there. And then this is the current AI we have. That's narrow. That's weak AI. And then we have two more to come, two concepts, general and super intelligent. And this is the size of a center that Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, is starting to build for super intelligence AI. That's compared to the Manhattan Island. That's the size of that center compared to the Manhattan Island. And inside of AI, we have that thing there. It's called machine learning. Machine learning, as I told you, is me training a machine what I want that machine to learn. So, hey, in the case of those pecan nuts, hey, computer, this is a water bottle. It's like a kid. This is a triangle. This is a circle. And I'll go little dip into that in a couple minutes. So supervised and unsupervised. So if you watch Netflix, you're gonna understand what unsupervised is gonna mean. Like you watch a lot of action movies. So there's a tab on your front screen on Netflix or Amazon TV that says you may like this. So if you watch a lot of action movies, there's the computer is learning from your patterns, from your behaviors, and then give you what you want. Say, hey, you like this because you watch a lot of action movies. So that's an unsupervised AI model. And then Gen AI, as I told you, ChatGPT, Copilot, a lot of different AI, Claude, a lot of different AI platforms. You ask something, it goes to the database, captures the data, and generates data from that data to yourself. And then computer vision. I'm not going to focus on this because that's a lot of robotics. But there are two ways of doing AI, the hard mode and the easy mode. Hard mode, as I'm going to show you here, this is a work from my lab. Back in 2024, when Hurricane Helene hit, we went to farms and then we flew the drone to count how many trees were downed. So there, I'm uploading one picture to the software, and then automatically those trees are being counted, those downed trees. But behind that, I had a lot of coding, a lot of examples. So for building something like that, I think I had to put like 1,000 images and then circling every single route and then having like 1,000 lines of code. So the software understood that everything else in that image, but those were downed trees. And then this is the easy mode. Let me see if we have something there. I don't think so. You can download the image, so it gives you a report. We're building this, so hopefully we're not going to have something like that again, but in the future, we're going to be able to act faster, know how many trees are downed, and take insurance considerations and everything back in the future. Okay, so easy mode. We also wanted to know because there are digital ag platforms out there, as you see on the left side here, these ones. These are platforms that you can get your drone images and then you put inside of that platform. That software does everything for you. You don't need to do basically anything. It's just like, hey, you train, you give like a couple examples, not 1,000 as we did, but like 70 or 50. and then the software is going to do the counting for you. So we wanted to test how accurate those things are. And then we've done a trial. We used that drone. We flew at 230 feet. And the pixel size, as it says there, was about 1 inch. And this is the field, and this is the software as well. So we uploaded, you see we have mature, we have young, and we have mid-age trees. And the size is about like below 15 feet, above, in between 15 and 25, and then above 50 feet. So you see I click it, plant counts, and then boom, automatically the software did that for me. I didn't do anything. The only thing I did, I think is going to show up in the example right there. You can measure the area, you can measure the height. So we wanted to know how accurate this is. But I want to show you, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that on that video. How do I train the AI model? Yeah, that's it. So you see there, that's how AI is trained. I give it examples. I circled the trees and said, hey AI, hey computer, this is a tree, that's a tree, that's a tree, that's a tree. Everything else inside of that square is not a tree. Count the trees and measure the trees for me. So that was it, but the question is, so what? You know, you can do that. You can maybe count, but is it accurate? So this graph here shows that for height, it was 98% accurate. So flying a drone, using the software, I could measure the height of my trees with 98% accuracy. In general, for younger trees, the accuracy is not that good. It was 66% only. But for mid-age, like above 25 feet trees, that was fine. Below 15 feet trees, no, not fine. For canopy area estimations, 99% again for mature and mid-age, but not for younger trees. And the reason why is that as we're flying the drone really up in the sky, the resolution of that image is not good. So that's why the accuracy for the young ones is not good as well. Why, Luan, you're doing this research? Because I don't have that data here, but we can use that data of canopy width, tree height, plus canopy vigor to do yield estimations. And then we already run some data and we got good results. I just don't want to bring something we don't have it, anything tangible yet. But then we can use that to determine tree maturities to bring spray drones, like determining how many gallons per acre we want to apply and everything. This is a trial we've done back in 24. I don't know why my video is not playing, but that's fine. There was a drone flying there. We wanted to know if drones at 5 and 13 GPA using water on 3 different tree maturities would perform on coverage. And I'm bringing this because just look at this side of this graph right there. This is a data from Syngenta that says that the minimum for product efficacy, if you have a contact or a systemic fungicide, would be a contact one more than 70 droplets per square centimeter, and systemic in between 50 and 70. Looking at this one, this is 5 gallons per acre. A drone flying 10 feet above the canopy, using 5 gallons per acre. I'm going to put that 70 droplets per square centimeter threshold right there. So we placed cards, water-sensitive paper cards, on the top, mid, and bottom of that tree, and we wanted to know how far those droplets were coming from the drone. At 5 gallons per acre, pretty much nothing, as you see there. But, and then this is only young. On the blue bars is young trees, and then the orange bars is the mid-age trees. At 13 gallons per acre, I use a 13 here because it was the size of the tank of the drone at the time. We have larger tanks right now. At 13 gallons per acre, you see that's the threshold right here. We could spray the top of any of those tree ages, even mature or mid-age or young. So we got throughout coverage there. And that's the main result we got. I'm gonna show some results that we did on fungicides as well in the next slide. So then we wanted to know a drone at 10 gallons per acre. We got 3 gallons down. We used versus smart apply versus conventional versus drone spraying using the UGA's fungicide schedule from Dr. Tim Brenneman, and then only on mature trees, desirable variety. We did that last year, every 14 days application. You know what happened, right? So this is just the smart apply system, and those are the treatments. The first result we got, that this is the volume of application. That's conventional right here, and this is the smart apply. Got like almost 60% chemical reduction using smart apply on mature trees. And treatment 1, smart apply at 100 gallons per acre. Treatment 2, conventional air blast at 100 gallons. And treatment 3, drone spraying at 10 gallons as well. And we had 1 control. And this is also the variability right there of the conventional application, because it's going to depend a little bit on pump pressure. So those are all the days we sprayed. The smart apply was more constant. Here are the results for 2 analyses for scab infestation. We've done one in early July and one in mid-August. So basically, the control, like as we were spraying with the drone from the top to the bottom, we got the first result here, and this is the number of scab on nuts. This is the percentage on scab on nuts. We got the lowest result on the drone. And talking to our pathologists, say, hey, what's happening? We think that that's because of the water, that the drone was not spraying the same volume as the other 2 application methods were doing at 100 gallons per acre. But that was just in the first analysis we've done early July. Back in August, the control was the only one that had more ratings of scab. Unfortunately, as we were doing at 14 days, every 14 days applications, we got pretty much nothing on yield. So the drone, the smart apply, the conventional system, all of them perform pretty much the same on yield. So those are the results we have so far with the drone. For this year, what we're doing is actually we're doing the drone in conjunction with the smart apply and with the conventional system. So spraying with the conventional air blast from the bottom to the top, and spraying with the drone from the top to the bottom. We're going to try to develop actually a fungicide protocol for it, so we're not off-label, not spraying over the amount what the label requires us to do, and we're going to come back next year with those results to you guys. You saw a lot of technologies. This is not any result anymore. This is a conference we're going to have in Tifton, Georgia. That technology, that smart apply with the robot Gus from John Deere, they're going to be there for a live demonstration. And if you're a grower, you don't pay for joining us, okay? We have all the meals, lunch, snacks, everything, a networking reception. The idea with this conference is to bring you guys to see those technologies that I just showed you working live. That's going to be on May 5th and 6th, and it's going to be in Tifton, Georgia. I'll be open to any questions you might have. I think I still have time, right, Andrew? Okay, thank you.
Where were the nuts on the tree? Scab on nuts?
Those were on the bottom. Yeah, that's where we evaluated them. We didn't evaluate the ones on the top, but for this year, we're going to do.
How tall is the tree?
Those were above 50 feet. Those were mature, desirable, I would say even more than 75 feet trees.
The pathologist thought it was lower because it was a higher concentration.
I'm sorry?
10 gallons per acre. Why did the pathologist say that it was lower?
So in the conversation with the pathologist, like as we evaluated really early in the season, that one, as we were spraying 100 gallons versus 10 gallons, that output was not coming down all the way. So maybe the water from the 100 gallons per acre or the concentration was too low. So that's the outcome we found out, but that's not something we evaluated actually. So we created the environment with the water, basically. You had a question. Okay, okay.
Does the drone get the bottom of the tree better than sprayer gets the top of the tree?
We didn't evaluate that one. We did not evaluate that one. We only wanted to know if that spray pattern, that output was getting all the way to the bottom, not vice versa.
Did you evaluate to see if it was getting all the way to the top?
I'm sorry?
On the regular sprayer, you didn't want to see what was going from the top to the bottom. Did you see what was going from the bottom all the way to the top?
We're having that. We evaluate. We have the trial, but we didn't evaluate the data yet.
Okay.
Y'all plan to do a reduced application rate for the smart process so that 100 gallons per acre?
The idea with the trial was actually to see both. As we were spraying tall trees, we wanted to understand because that's the advisable rate for above 75 feet trees, 100 gallons of water per acre. So as we were doing the same with the conventional system, we wanted to use the smart apply with the same output, basically. Is this something interesting for you guys? That would be like.
Well, most of the hedges these days are going 45 foot. Is that right, Bill? 40, 45 foot. So on all the hedge varieties now, 75 foot is almost irrelevant. You need to 45 foot down.
A lot of like USDA, some of the USDA's work from years ago showed that they were getting as good a result with 50 gallons an acre as 100 through the airline sprayer.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people have gone with 50 gallons.
Okay.
So maybe something
that needs to be looked.
The last work that Clive did, he went down. I did it with him. He went down to 33, and it was just good as 50. That's as low as we went.
So you're going.
Go to 33, but it worked. I'm at 50.
Okay.
So he has a couple years of work on that.
So 50 gallons would be the best rate to work on right now. Because like looking at the UGA recommendations, that's what we've been following. It's like, hey, above 50 foot trees, 100 gallons per acre on the different tree sizes. That's what we've done in that work.
That's kind of the old. That's
Okay.
kind of what we've always done.
Okay.
We hadn't officially changed our recommendation yet, but it's looking like it probably works, especially on the hedge tree.
Okay, so that would be interesting for you guys if we do 150 again, or go 50 and reduce even to less than that.
I would say 50.
Okay.
33.
Because right now that one, the trees were pretty tall, and the next one, the trees are going to be hedged. So we're going to be lowering down that output for sure, based on UGA's recommendations. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Really nice discussion.